Hi, my name is Astrid, and I was born on water to my parents who worked as traders on a ship. From the moment I opened my eyes, I saw open skies and endless ocean. I took my first steps on rocky waves. So while the adults got seasick, 2-year-old me could run around laughing as if I was on a swing. I was made for the sea, and I was terrified of land. The first time I set foot on Earth was when I was 4. It was crazy hot, and there were so many people around that I freaked out and climbed on top of my mom's head.
Let's go back to the ship, Mama.
We need supplies, Astrid. I can't see. I just cried till she took me back to the water, and after that, I never went with her on supply runs. I stayed with my uncles on board and learned to fish and sail. By the time I was 15, I had learned everything about our ship. I could take the captain's place any day. I loved my life and my family, but some of us had bad habits. My uncles loved to steal at every stop we made, and it got us into lots of trouble. Their worst disaster was the night we docked in a town in England. I heard noises in the middle of the night, and I saw my uncles moving a huge chest on board. They also had 2 kids with them, and they looked scared. My uncles locked them in a cabin. What are you both up to?
We were doing a little loot, and these kids caught us.
A loot? You promised you'd stop stealing. Let those kids go.
We'd have to go to jail if they talked. We're not hurting them. Stay out of it, Astrid.
They left, but I wasn't letting this go. We couldn't just take whoever we wanted. I picked the lock, and when the door opened, the boy jumped on me.
Let us off this ship, you crazy pirate.
Shut up, you'll get us caught.
I'm gonna jump off this ship. I won't let you take us.
No, stop it. I can help you. I pulled out a small boat and sneaked the 2 prisoners in while my uncles were busy sneaking in more loot. As I rowed them to shore, I begged the boy not to report my ship. I don't want my family to go to prison.
They should be in prison. They're pirates.
They just have bad habits. Promise me you won't tell, or I'm taking us back.
I'm the son of the governor. If I go missing, your family is toast. You better take me back.
What I didn't realize was that my uncles were getting ready to leave as fast as ghosts. Just as I turned back from shore, I rode my arms off, but the ship was going too fast. They couldn't even hear my screams. I jumped off the boat and tried to swim, but the fog consumed the ship. When I opened my eyes, I was in a beautiful room. I was lying on silk sheets with candies and biscuits all around me. Was this heaven?
You're alive. Remember me? I'm Will.
The moment I heard his voice, I freaked. I'm stranded on land. Land!
Calm down.
I raced out of his gigantic house, and when I saw nothing but people and streets, I wanted to throw up.
Don't draw attention to yourself.
I see soldiers. I could ask them for help. Suddenly, Will pushed me back into the house and locked the doors behind him.
You can't talk to soldiers. If they catch you, they'll throw you in jail.
What? Why? That's when he told me how bad my uncles had messed up. They'd stolen 3 chests of gold from a government ship. Everyone knew which ship did the robbery. They were sending a fleet after my family right now. No shelter, no food, and no family. Was my life ruined? I was panicking like a fish out of water, but Will asked me to stay in his house.
You can be my servant. Father will give you a room for that. You saved me and my sister. It's the least I can do.
Will I get free food?
Yes.
Thank you.
You can even come to school with us.
What school? Once he got over his shock, Will told me about his weird life on land. There was a building where all the kids went every day, and they listened to people talking for hours. It sounded boring, but when Will took me with him for my first day, it turned out to be awful. I was fierce and loud as a sailor, while everyone else was so proper and polite. The first time I made a fart joke, everyone screamed. Will was the only one laughing. And the worst part, everyone could read except me. I only knew how to read maps, not these crazy long books. What an idiot. My 6-year-old sister can read.
Right. Did she just step off a boat?
She's from a poor village in the south, and she's my servant, so don't be rude to her unless you want to fight me.
Everyone stopped laughing right away. Wow, Will had some power. I was happy he was with me, even though it was annoying to listen to his orders and carry his things around. He even taught me how to read at home. I was protected in his shadow from everyone, except his childhood friend, Diane. She was really suspicious of me.
Where did you come from? Where are your parents? What is that accent?
She was a sly one. She noticed I didn't know how to use common objects, and I couldn't name any of the villages down south. One day, the teachers told us we were all going on a fishing trip. We were going to be on water, and I was so excited. But when we got on the boat, I saw the captain was not in his senses. He wasn't steering right, and the current couldn't catch us and pull us into the sea. When I told the teachers, they just ignored me, and soon we were bouncing on really rocky waves. All the students were throwing up. This was a disaster. That's when we heard a splash, and people started screaming. Diane fell off the boat! Without missing a beat, I tied a rope around me and jumped. Diane was thrashing like crazy, and I had to slap her to calm her down. Then I swam with her back to the ship's ladder and pulled her out.
I can't believe it. You saved my life.
We're going back to shore. I'm steering the boat now. Get out of my way! It was easy to fix our path while the stupid captain snored on the floor. When we finally reached shore, everyone cheered loudly. In an instant, I was famous. Everyone was in awe of me and they wanted to be my friend. One boy even asked me to have dinner with him and teach him how to sail.
My servant is busy with me. Sorry.
Why'd you do that?
What if he finds your secret? I'm just protecting you.
Are you jealous of all the attention I'm getting?
Certainly not.
Diane was the one who changed the most. She apologized for being so cold to me and grabbed me in the tightest hug.
From now on, we're best friends. Come on, I'll teach you how to dress.
Well, I was here now. I'd made friends in this crazy, unfamiliar place, and I was building a life of my own. Until one day, when soldiers came to see Will's father.
The robbers who stole our gold have returned. Their ship is on the dock.
No way! Will and I ran up to the coast, and it was my ship. Soldiers were taking my family out in chains. Please, we left our daughter here. We need to find her. You can take all the gold back.
That's not how we do things. Pirates go to prison.
No! I wanted to jump into my mother's arms, but Will pulled me away. I can't just leave them.
There's nothing you can do by getting caught. We'll figure something out. Let's go home.
When I went home, soldiers were already waiting for me, and Diane was with them. That's her. That's the girl from the pirate ship.
Diane, what are you doing?
Keeping us safe. She's a criminal. That's a lie. Everyone knows the robbers came back for a lost girl your age. You don't know where you're from, and you're terrible at everything except boats, because you're a pirate. I saved your life, you witch! I attacked Diane, but the soldiers pulled me off her and dragged me to prison. They threw me in a cell, and she couldn't care less. Why are you doing this? My parents planned my engagement to Will when I was a baby. I'm not letting some dirty pirate steal him from me.
I would never marry someone like you.
Will, I just...
Before I break my rule and hit a woman, get out.
I spat in her face before she left. She could hit me in my cell. I was going crazy with anxiety. What was going to happen to us? The only visitor I saw all day was Will, who came to see me at lunch. He tried to get his father to release us, but he kept failing. And then one day, everything took a turn for the worst. I woke up one night because my whole cell was shaking. It was an earthquake. People were running outside, and I was just locked in here. Thankfully, it died out soon, but the real disaster came the next morning. There were no birds in the sky, not one. Everything was silent. Even the ocean was quiet, and it was slowly shrinking. This was bad. Guards! A giant wave is gonna hit the town. You have to ring the alarms. Obviously, they laughed at me. No one here had heard of waves taller than buildings hitting shore, but I'd heard stories on the ship. That afternoon, Will showed up to my cell with his father. He'd finally convinced the governor to release me. Sir, the earthquake last night, it's gonna flood the town. You have to tell the people to run.
What is she talking about?
Look at the sea. It's shrinking, as if all the water is getting sucked in. That water will return in huge waves. No one here will survive.
How do you know this?
Because I'm a pirate. I know the sea. And ask the other fishermen, they'll tell you. When the governor saw the fishermen already packing their things and running away, he finally called the alarm.
Release all the prisoners and animals. All citizens, run inland, now.
My family was finally freed, and the soldiers gave everyone horses to make our escape. I'd never ridden a horse before, but Will took my hand and pulled me up behind him. The horses galloped inland, just as the ocean broke through the shore, destroying buildings like an angry god. Mother Nature was terrifying. I saw Diane on a horse with her father, and when she saw me with my arms around Will, she screamed and fell off. Oh my God! I yanked on Will till he stopped the horse and ran to get her back. Why do you keep saving me? I hate you! Just shut up and run! I literally threw her on our horse, and we didn't stop riding until we reached the next town. The town's governor agreed to help us and gave all the refugees food and shelter. I hugged my parents tight, sobbing loudly. I miss them so much. How did you survive here? Who took care of you? I introduced them to Will, and they literally fell to his feet with thanks. Suddenly, Will's father marched up to us, and Will said,
"No, you can't put her parents back in jail. Actually, I'm here to thank Astrid. We lost our town today, but we could have lost all our people, even my son. According to Will's stories, this is the third time you've saved his life. Trouble does follow him around. You're an impressive young woman. I believe you should train to join the Navy."
Wait, England's Navy? He was serious about this. He agreed to mentor me and put me in for training, and he even pardoned my parents. He did put my uncles in jail, and honestly, they deserved it. I found Will alone later and hugged him tight. Thank you for everything. I'm gonna be in the Navy. Can you believe it?
I can. You'll be brilliant. I wonder, though, will you be too busy to be my girlfriend?
What?
You're the most incredible girl on land and sea. I'm never letting you go.
I threw my arms around him and kissed him. I'm yours.